Hi, I'm Jake Birkett from Gralien Games, and this is Powerama for Commodore 64. And a few weeks ago I played a game called Magnum Force, which, I don't know if I can just start this game. Yeah, I played a game called Magnum Force, and it was basically, it looked like a prototype of this. Hang on a sec. Controls, got the controls, good. Yeah, it was a prototype of this, and I didn't rate it much, and I felt that it was just a bit rough. And then I played this shortly afterwards and was like, oh, okay, Hewson published this. I don't think they made it in-house. And this is, you know, how the game should have been. So I don't know who the hell released Magnum Force as a demo, whether it was cracked or what, by somebody and released early. Very strange. But yeah, there was a few differences. Like in Magnum Force, I felt that the enemies were just kind of randomly flying on. They didn't have much purpose, like or patterns that were discernible. And this seems a bit more reasonable. The backgrounds are kind of the same, kind of 3-color Commodore 64 classic. These mines, they had these mines on the other game, these purple mines. They were grey on the other game, but they were loads of them, and they homed in on you, and it was virtually impossible to avoid them. And this feels fairer so far. It's not good auto fire. Yeah, I don't know what these flashing things are. Okay, I can pick them up. I don't know if that's points, power-ups. I'm just going to use the quick save function. Yeah, player bullets seem to be fairly clear. These white ones, I mean, they could have done with an outline, but I guess they were keeping it simple. Enemy bullets flicker a bit. Now, the other thing I noticed on this game is when you died, on Magnum Force, oh, look at that collision detection, it was way off. Oh, you know what? I think I hit Y on the cheat at the beginning, and it's given me invulnerability, which I don't normally do with games because I want to sort of at least vaguely experience the difficulty. Oh well, I guess I can enjoy the vulnerability for a while. It's only really a comparison. Yeah, so the other game, when you died and came back, your ship sort of faded in, but it didn't have a sound effect, and I was like, that's weird. It really seems like it needs a sound effect, and it does in this game. So, you know, clearly the other one, Magnum Force, was unfinished. And what should happen eventually is there's a sort of boss, which in the other game I recall being like super easy, like maybe again it was unfinished, and then it will change to another background color, 3-color background. Still don't know what that does. It makes a noise. Is it a score? Yeah, and you can destroy parts of the scenery, which is unusual for a shoot 'em up back in the day. I don't know if you get, I guess you get points for them. I'm not quite sure what it is I'm blowing up. Oh, it's these things that look like, yeah, I guess that look slightly more special than some of the other background elements. Yeah, so this is, it's not sluggish, it's quite fast, got quite nice movement, a little bit of inertia, the ship tilts. Here's the boss. Yeah, so last time I fought this on Magnum Force, it was just super easy to sort of shoot whatever was there. It didn't look like this, so it's still pretty easy. And I died, that's interesting. Yeah, so you got a sound effect when you reform. Different colours for the background. Ooh. Yeah, this game isn't bad. It feels better paced than Magnum Force, that's for sure. I guess the enemies are a bit random now, but unless I was in a bad mood when I played it. I think that the other issue was these mines that used to just sweep around and hit you and were almost impossible to avoid. This could do with some, you know, power-ups though, right? I keep flying over these flashing things. None of them have given me more bullets. I don't know if I'm faster than when I first started. And none of them, enemy craft, appear to give me any power-ups. Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess I've reached this point where, I mean, admittedly I'm cheating because it's in invulnerable mode, but I've reached a point where I feel like I've seen what the game has to offer at the moment. I guess it could have a different boss. Like in the demo, I think the boss was always the same. I call it demo, Magnum Force, whatever that was. Unreleased version, or maybe they shopped it around a bit before they got Hewson. Maybe then Hewson gave them some tips how to improve it, because I think they did that as a publisher. Not sure really. What's it called? Powerama. It's a weird name. I never heard of this back in the day. Perhaps it's because it's not, you know, particularly thrilling. I quite like these rough edges to the map though. They're kind of quite cool. And this classic sort of 3-colour Commodore background. Good for sort of flying over sci-fi. I think they call this stuff greebles or something. Is that what it's called? Where you have a spaceship and you stick on all of these little bits and bobs, which they used to do with the Star Wars and Galactica models and stuff. I'm getting a bit tired of hammering this fire button now. Yeah, I mean the waveforms are a bit more making sense than the other game. Just felt a bit kind of too random and literally unfinished. And this is okay. It makes a noise when I touch them, does it? The enemies? I think so. It's just it's not actually. I don't know. Maybe that's the enemy firing noise. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I could have done with some music. There might have been an option on the title screen to switch on music. Yeah, look at that shadow on the grid. That's actually kind of quite cool looking. Yeah, a lot of games had, you know, music and one channel for sound effects, and that always helps make a game feel more positive. Yeah, they've definitely got waveforms, these, or patterns, you know, these enemies. The mines just fly down. UFOs kind of go across. Loads of exploding, destructible scenery. Right, let's see what the boss is like here. It's probably going to be the same, isn't it? Let's have a look. The last one had a satellite dish, yeah, and a thing that comes down. Yeah, it's very easy to kill. I mean, I know it killed me, but it's quite a cool effect. Right, so I'm in space, now I'm over a planet. Got a different set of Commodore 64 colours. The pink, yellow, grey combo. Not bad. I always keep an eye on these if they're good. For use in sort of pixel art in Pico 8, which I like making games in. Like I did an experiment with all the sort of 3-colour combos. Some of them look better than others. Sometimes the brights are too bright. Like if they'd used white instead of yellow for the highlight, it wouldn't have looked good. If they'd used black for the dark, they might have been able to sneak a blue in for the instead of grey. That's a common trick to blue shift the shadows. Yeah, okay, I think I've seen enough of Powerama. I don't know if it was a $2.99 Hewson job or if they sold this for, you know, $9.99. I think if it was $2.99 I'd have probably thought it was okay. But yeah, I wanted to see power-ups. Why no power-ups? Surprising amount of 64 games didn't have them, or at least I can't figure out how to make them work. Like there's nothing at the bottom gradient style showing you you're working towards a power-up, or unless I can fire faster or something. I can fire pretty fast. I can move pretty fast. Yeah, look. What is that? Just points. I've got a stupid score. What is it? 65 million or something? Or, no, 6 million. And it sort of becomes a bit meaningless after a while. That's the other thing I quite like, is if you are going to get a score for picking up that flashing thing, would have been to just show the score floating up above it. So I'm like, okay, it does something. I get a score. If it's a power up, I would have seen it and got it, obviously. The backgrounds almost look like it could be randomly generated. They're probably not, but it's almost like they could have been on a modern computer. You might actually do that. Otherwise, it's a big map to put together. I wonder actually, if you look at the squares, there's obviously, you know, 16 squares in these black areas, for example. But I think they're one large chunk that the game dev put down. Like you can see it based on these circular things. So I think most of the map was probably made using a byte to specify one of those large squares, and then that's all stored in the memory. Obviously you don't want to store each individual little square like these over there. You want to store them in bulk to save memory. Especially these maps are actually quite long. I feel like I might be near the boss soon. See, that was weird. That flashing thing was no longer in a sort of case or whatever. It was just in space. Yeah, this is a different set of enemy formation. See, that's encased in some squares. So it has varied up the enemies. Slightly more challenging waveforms. What have we got? A boss? Could this be a boss? Yeah, am I getting points for that? I'll destroy the third boss and then I'll look at the next level and then I'll probably stop. Hoping the sound effects aren't too loud as well. I've been trying to get the balance right. This is my new PC for 2024. That was tough. And I've set all the software up again and having to get all the balancing right. Oh, alright, so we've got a green background, a bunch of horizontal enemies, same kind of thing really. Alright, so that's Powerama, which is on Commodore 64 using the Vice64 emulator, and look at Magnum Force if you see this video just to see how they improved it, because they did. This is more fun than the other game. Alright, thanks for watching, bye.